The Albird Uoplay 3-axis smartphone gimbal is essentially a Steadicam that allows you to connect your smartphone to the gimbal and achieve what is a semi-steady shot and a smooth video experience. Now, before we go into this review, I would like to very much point out that the Albird Uoplay is recommended for the iPhone. However, it does work with other phones such as this Nexus 6P that I'm using here. The Uoplay can take a little while to get to grips with to achieve the best results, and even then you're not going to get Hollywood-style Steadicam operations. No matter how hard you try, there is likely to be just the slightest wiggle or rumble to the footage gathered. Now, that's not to say that the Uoplay is a failure, anything but. In fact, the Uoplay really helps the user increase the versatility of the footage that they're capturing on their smartphone. Very quickly, the user will realize that video footage becomes a lot more of a creative experience and therefore is much more presentable when showing the likes of this short holiday video that I shot at a hotel in Dublin. Photographs can't quite capture every detail, and watching someone else's shaky camera footage really doesn't help. However, this almost gives a more glossy and professional feel to amateur video. Once the controls have been mastered, there's a lot of fun that can be had with the concept of having a Steadicam in your pocket. This footage here is sped up as I walked along the corridors of the hotel. I can now illustrate to people just how far the walk was from the elevator to our room without missing a detail of the nasty wallpaper and the colour of the carpet. As the days went on, I felt myself becoming more creative and wanting to pick up different types of shots just to see how they turned out of curiosity, to see if this kind of footage would be feasible, despite the reflections in the window and it being quite difficult to actually keep the whole system fairly stable whilst concentrating on the footage being captured. The joystick that is attached to the Uoplay does help greatly to keep the picture straight. However, I found myself tinkering with it a little more than required. It wasn't long until I'd graduated from a standard static shot like this to moving around objects and being able to explore, having the confidence to see that the footage was actually very presentable and it actually looked like it had been shot on some professional equipment. And whilst the results weren't fantastic, they were still good enough for me to feel that I could actually show them to people and I wouldn't be too embarrassed of my holiday footage. Now, as you can see here, as I'm trundling around this courtyard, there is a bit of wobble to the footage, and I put that down to the device being too large for the counterbalance I'm advised to use on the Uoplay, as my phone has a larger screen. A lot of the footage gathered here is off the cuff, spontaneous footage that would not make it onto television. However, it does have a bit of a corporate video feel to it, or a cheap advertising company. The Uoplay is very much marketed towards the likes of myself with a small family to capture some treasured moments, and for that the device is incredibly successful and will make videos less of a chore to watch. So all the footage seems to be pretty good, but what's the actual device itself like? Well, it's well constructed, it's made of very strong materials that'll take a few knocks. However, a lot of it is polished, so it'll show a few scratches when it takes said knocks. Whilst being well constructed, it also happens to be very light. However, using it over the course of a full day, you'll probably find your fingers getting a wee bit sore. Battery life seems to last for about 2 to 3 hours of continual use. There are 2 sets of batteries included, plus an external charger, so you can have one set charging whilst the other set is in use. A bundled remote control is in the box with the Uoplay. Whilst I didn't have any need to use it, I did test it and it seemed to work quite well, allowing you to control the joystick on the Uoplay and start and stop recording. The user also has to take care when switching off the Uoplay, as it can quite easily lead to your device careering out of control into the top of the handle of the Uoplay. So hardware wise, this device actually delivers. Whenever you lift it out of the box, you feel that you're getting your money's worth whenever you have it in your hand. However, it all comes down to the quality of the video. For me, I have worked as a videographer in the past, and seeing the results here, I am more than satisfied with what you get. Obviously it's not perfect, and it would be better had I a different device. The manufacturer very much recommends an Apple device, whether it be an iPhone 6 or 6S. Android and Windows devices are compatible, however the results are not guaranteed to be as smooth as that of the Apple devices. As you can see here with this long shot of my son running up a trail, there is a little jiggle to it, and that is simply down to the weight of the Nexus 6P. The Uoplay has worked its way into my family's life. We will be using it again and again to record boring family videos that no one's going to see. However, it will be infinitely more watchable for us because it has style and a level of amateur professionalism you cannot find anywhere else.